Hello guys, thanks very much for joining this webinar today. This is Jessica with the marketing department in Milesite. What I'm going to tell you about today is really just the story of Milesite. As you know, we have three different sister companies, the Yearstar, the Versatility, and the Milesite. We have integrated into one Milesite entity in December 2020. So now there are more than 500 employees full-time in Milesite Group, and in which 50 employees are focused on the IoT product lines. And if you want to get more details about this merge and acquisition, please visit our milesite-iot.com. Or you can find the news in Versatility and Yearstar and Milesite official website as well. So now we are operating under one brand name, Milesite. And why should you join this webinar? I think the only reason that you should listen to me is because we have been able to make a successful business by using components of cellular IoT and a bit of our ingenuity and hard work. Even though we start company very late, we started the IoT products development in the end of 2016. So we didn't do any business. We didn't make any business in 2017. In fact, because it's the starting year of the products development and marketing planning, the marketing strategy planning. So we only all switch our full-time jobs on the end of 2017 to be the full-time in Versatility, now is Milesite, and that turned out to be a pretty good decision. And in the last 2 years, we have had a really successful surge in our local market and also in some overseas countries from the center industries, like from the smart retail, smart energy, smart city, and smart transportation. Also projects from industrial automation, I think certainly in the United States, in Europe, in Australia, that's our biggest market, and also in some other countries. Milesite and our partners, we are having different models in making money. So how do Milesite make money? Milesite keep upgrading the hardware and the devices. So when we make most of our profit is from hardware selling. We sell the cellular routers, we sell the devices, the LoRaWAN devices, but we make free maintenance service. We make the free after-sales services. And we provide free management tool for our partners. So our partners, they are able to charge the annual maintenance contract and their service that go with almost every project. Our partners can make money from that. And now we are starting to get some of the big enterprises, the companies coming to us, so they can make white label our services, so they can build a solution that they can take to their own channels. It's actually Milesite under the hood. So what are we all about? We want to be the most cost-effective, the most user-friendly cellular provider in the market. And I know that's probably a rough ambition, but dream big. And we want to have the most stable hardware, the most user-friendly web GUI, the most clients, the best use cases. And it's certainly the use cases that I think carry the most weight in terms of growing your business. So how are we going forward? What's our business strategy? It's the little fellow here, Louisiana crawfish. I will tell you a very quick Chinese story. The Louisiana crawfish was introduced to China on the Second World War, almost 80 years ago. Japan was the natural springboard for the little crawfish from North America into Chinese ecological environment, and it was introduced as the bullfrog's feed. The only problem was they didn't do their homework very well, and they seems not delicious enough to bullfrogs. But one thing the crawfish was really good at was reproducing. Now in China, we have the terrible invasive species. They have landed, they expanded. So we are taking the Louisiana crawfish strategy to our business building. There are 195 countries in the world. I know everyone knows that. We started from the cellular developed countries, the most developed countries. We are going to attend the local exhibitions. We are going to attend the professional shows. Also, we are going to the concentration on the local distributor network. So we cooperate with them to achieve projects, to win projects together. We make co-marketing with them. We financially support them to spread the Milesite brands locally. So we have still got a lot of local markets to cover, and we have got a lot of distributors to speak to. But due to the COVID-19 response, which become delayed, we had only 2 distributors in 2018, and now we have more than 30 distributors in 2020. And we have signed up mainly in the last 18 months. And what we do for this kind of partners is we build a healthy network. We create MSRP rules. We upgraded our devices for them because what they have to do, what they want to do, either is dip their toes into the IoT water with a reliable brand or lower the cost of the total solution as much as possible with Milesite devices. As we mainly serve the distributors, the system integrators, and resellers before Milesite, there are already so many brands in the market, either made in China or made in other countries, famous on industries or famous on the enterprise use. So before Milesite arising on 2018, cellular technology has been widely used in IoT. So what can we tell? What can we tell our customers? What can we share with our partners? To be honest, at first beginning was very limited. So we worked very hard to introduce our differences, to introduce our services, our technology, our technical support, our consultancy services, our positive attitude to make products approved by the local certification. So our R&D customizing services, our white label services, our marketing value-added services. So all the aspects from the products to our services. So it makes sense to our partners at finally. And we tell our customers about the versatility of use cases. There is so many. And there is one of the real strengths of cellular network in the IoT age, of course. And we give them the actual case studies. We have been in the business now long enough to have accumulated some credibility and some really successful stories. This is the school bus case with the UR75, the Python SDK for the further development and programming by the developers to connect with their remote center. The solution integrates people counters, alcohol lock, alcohol tester, and Milesite router, the UR75 in bus solution. The connection between people counter and UR75 relays on the internet port. The digital input is used for the connecting with alcohol locker, the alcohol tester, and triggering the SMS and email alarm. And the relay output, well, there's a relay output device between the digital output interface and engine heater. The relay output device is in the control of engine heater through the SMS, and the Wi-Fi is enabled to provide internet for passengers on the bus for the children's, and the GPS is enabled to check the location of the bus. You know how cold it is in the winter time in Sweden. So every time when the bus driver he starts his work, he must test the alcohol through the alcohol tester, and once the test results qualified, the remote data center will send a comment back to the UR75 router and through the relay output interface to turn on the engine heater or turn off it. And next is our the Mexico remote machine monitoring from our customer in Mexico. Well, currently our UR32 router only supports the 2.4G Wi-Fi, and it can be worked as the AP Wi-Fi AP or as the Wi-Fi client. So our UR32 router supports either of them. AP means like works as a hotspot that allowing other devices to connect to register, such as your smartphone enables hotspot and your colleagues or your friends can register. And you can share the hotspot, the Wi-Fi, among your friends. And client means that connect Wi-Fi, connect with other AP, like your smartphone to find a Wi-Fi for the remote connection. Find when you stay at home, well, I always start Wi-Fi through my home router. So that's the usage that several remote sensors, like the temperature, like the electrical current, and vibration, those kind of sensors, they are connecting with a sensor node, with a node through the Wi-Fi. And finally, the node will forward all the data to the cellular router through Wi-Fi wirelessly. And in some case, the meters, industrial PC and UR32 are working very well in a solution. An industrial PC is connecting data from many meters in the field through the wireless radio frequency. And then this industrial small PC transfers data to router through the Ethernet port, and the router continues to forward data to the back-end server through the cellular 3G and 4G network. So here we take use of the Ethernet port of the UR32 router to physically connect with the industrial PC for the data transmission. And you can also use the router in the ATM, in the kiosk, in the retail business. Here we have a customer from the United States to install our UR32 router in the ATM machine in order to realize the control of the digital output interface in the router, and through the SMS to send command to the digital output interface so as to turn on or turn off the power of the ATM machine. If something bad happened, like when the ATM machine was stolen by someone, well, our customer can cut off the power through the SMS. By the way, our UR32 router has been certified by AT&T carrier in the United States, as well as the AT&T and T-Mobile, both of them. And we also use the routers in a mobile hospital as well. In Australia, people usually, they usually need to drive a long way to go to a hospital. Now, because of the mobile hospital solution, they can enjoy the faster health care and medical services. Well, in this solution, you can find there are several cameras. The IP cameras are connecting with a NVR system, and through a PoE switch connect with our old version, the UR51 is end of life. Well, in the new case, our customers has replaced UR31 with the UR35. So there are several PoE interfaces that can connect with the IP camera directly and provide the power supply to the cameras. And in this case, we provide a bundle solution of the UR35, the cellular router, and our LoRaWAN gateway and the sensor node to build up the solution to monitor the traffic security, to monitor the environmental data, and people counter for building up a smart city in Singapore. Usually, a smart city project is usually started by installing the cameras for the public safety monitoring and the traffic monitoring, and usually it ends up with a range of deployed IoT sensors. Well, the safe city IP cameras demand high bandwidth, but IoT sensors have a different set of characteristics. They usually transmit less data less frequently, so they only need a narrow bandwidth. So moreover, the LoRaWAN sensors are designed to consume low level of power to assure an economic and operational value. So the cellular router UR35 here offering the versatile external and internal interfaces to power, to connect, and manage multiple devices, including IP cameras and LoRaWAN gateway, to bridge the gap between the broadband and the narrowband, I think is a perfect balance for this solution that you can find the LoRaWAN gateway and IP cameras. They are taking use of the Ethernet port, the Ethernet cable, to transmit data and get power supply from the cellular router. Thanks to the PoE interfaces in the UR35. And also there are a big request about the PopUp Networks. Thinks about going to the amusement park, the flea market, the open-air concerts, anywhere you were essentially to immediately set up your business, set up in minutes. You may need to have a reliable network for this access control system. So the cellular router can provide you a stable and secure network in this temporary environment. This case is coming from the same customer as I mentioned for the access control automation ticket system. The customer, by deploying a light tower this time, including several cameras, and our UR35 router with PoE interface and a GPS. This company is able to copy this solution template to many temporary on-site festival events or outdoor activities to monitor the traffic and security, and also to check the valuable assessment. Also, due to the GPS feature, the UR35 cellular router is able to check location of the light power, which makes all the access under control. And furthermore, the company also adopts the sun panel, the solar panel, to offer the power supply to the system. So it's the 100% clean energy used for this solution. And we also tell our partners that you can use our cellular router in the smart gas meter projects. For example, in this case, you can take use of the serial port, the RS485 interface in the cellular router to connect with a gas meter and transmit the data to the TCP to come in a remote area. Then just install the SCADA on a laptop to read and collect data from the TCP to come for the 24 and 7-day real-time monitoring. And also you can set up alert warning by SMS and by email, both of them. And besides the commercial projects, we also work with the State Grid Corporation of China to include our UR32 into their total monitoring solution. The serial port IS485 interface works again here, and PoE LAN port are playing a very big role to connect with our controller and connect with our IP camera in this solution. So here you can find there are hundreds of the units. On each unit, there is a controller, there is a cellular router, and there is a unit of the camera. So this distributed, the units were distributed, deployed in different places to monitor the changes of the current of the power line and also to realize the real-time online monitoring, online surveillance. Well, another very important thing for us has been the catalog. We have got about 2 series, 3 popular models, and 2 free management software tools that we provide to our clients. And it's half a practical tool and half a marketing tool. So that is actually doing is providing to our customers the breadth of product that's available for this one network. So here you can find Milesite Device Hub and Milesite VPN software. The UR3 series is the most popular series, the best seller for our whole cellular product portfolio. What features that those 2 routers have? Well, I will begin with the hardware features because it's the easiest thing, that's easier to describe what you can see, and then I will go to software features. So both models have 2 SIM cards, one digital input and output, and a single serial port or a combination of serial interfaces. And PoE as a PSD device, and Wi-Fi and GPS are optional to get. I think it's better to meet different requirements and balance the budget. And moreover, the FXS port, the RJ11 interface, is also optional to get in the UR35 model, which can be easily connected with a legacy telephone when deploying in the lift application, in the elevator application, industrial lift project. Well, 2 SIM cards. With the 2 SIM cards, with the dual SIM functionality, our partners can easily use 2 different operators, the SIM cards from 2 different carriers for even better internet backup. Because one operator can work better in one location and another one in different part of the city or different part of the country, and also it is very important feature for roaming. And those who are using a product, for example, in mobile device when it crosses country borders, So with 2 SIM cards, you can reach maximum level of reliability that your internet will not be lost, and the stability of the device when you contribute to change the SIM card depending on a signal of strength, for example. And it takes about 24 seconds to automatically reconnect from one carrier to another, to the secondary carrier to rebuild up the connection. And for another hardware feature, one configurable digital input and output, which gives you a possibility to trigger an event by SMS or by email. Going further to one of the most important features, a combination of serial interfaces with an internet port, including all serial ports in a single device, in a small single router. We have IS-232 and IS-485 without any additional configurations and purchases. They can work on the same time. It means that you can connect a device to the IS-232 port, another device to IS-485 port, another device to the Ethernet port, and a different device to input and output interfaces, and they will work at the same time. And also, an internet port is 100 megabits per second speed. It can provide power supply at the same time, which easily enables you a possibility to connect CCTV camera to it or NVR device to it. GPS, it is very efficient tool for managing time based on location because you can synchronize the time based on it. And Wi-Fi has two models, AP and client. Our router can be worked as either of them. They are optional features in the UR3 series routers. Well, many people are calling the hardware as a body and software as a brain, as a heart. Well, I can hardly agree with it more. I always tell this to our partners. The software is a very important thing in a cellular router. Those routers are following the same philosophy and have many different software features, like the firewall, like the multiple VPNs, like OpenVPN, IPsec, PPTP, L2TP, and many more. And also, since routers are industrial levels, with serial port combinations, we have included the Modbus TCP, the Modbus RTU, the slave and master to them for you to reach different industrial machinery. So you can connect, you can remote access into the machines through those kind of protocols. And multiple levels of the user authority can easily help the admin to manage the units through different persons. So Milesite UR3 series routers are equipped with multiple hardware and software features. And that is why you can use them in multiple projects where it is needed, industrial protocols with multiple industrial interfaces, and security and reliable by the two SIM cards provided by the two SIM cards and our managing system. Well, there are too many brands of the cellular router or gateway in the market. With you can find price with less than 100 to more than 1,000, and we find each brand has his own proposition in the market. So here we can just find Milesite UR3 series. Our proposition is the entry level, the most cost effective, and the rich features, and very rich VPN protocols that you can find a variety of the VPN protocols. And also we can provide you the free software device hub as the centralized management tool to manage the big quantity of the routers at one platform. And we can provide you 3 years warranty, and AT&T T-Mobile certification as well. If you are coming from the American market, I think the carrier certification is most important. And think about the how can we manage those kind of routers. Then here we can see the device hub platform. It's a platform that you can configure, you can deploy a big quantity of the routers in your project. You can take use of this platform, a centralized management platform to walk you through like the firmware settings, the firmware upgradings, and the security settings, firewall settings, and the level of security that you can achieve in this platform. The other is your security level, and more especially, do you have any issues using the cloud-based software that offering to manage your devices? Well, I think most organizations have everything else in the cloud, so there's no problem, there's no issues for them. But some customers, especially the government agencies like the police force, for example, may have the rules against using the cloud service. So in order to help you, we provide you not only the cloud but also the on-premise service. So you can download the software package directly from Milesite website and to install it internally and make it on-premise. And in the Milesite Device Hub, you can create multiple sub-accounts with different permissions to manage the device together if you are administrator. And one of the big things is it supports the remote operation of the device when they are either online or offline. That means the router is accessible for the admin to operate even it doesn't have a fixed public IP address. So you don't need to install the TeamViewer, you don't need to make the port mapping. But from this platform, you can still remote access into the router. And also you can push out the firmware and the configuration in mass. I cannot overemphasize the importance of being able to do this because when large numbers of the devices were deployed remotely, they are deployed running a very similar, if not identical configuration. So you can take use of this massive configuration, make that very, very easy to manage. And by the way, I'd want to emphasize that no matter the cloud service or on-premise software, both of them are free to use, okay? And another very important component is the VPN software. Our cellular router all support a variety of VPN technology like the IPsec VPN and the GRE OpenVPN. When somebody wants to quickly set up OpenVPN server and enables a large number of connections to come in. So you may ask, what's the difference between the OpenVPN and the Milesite VPN? Well, from the functionality, they are almost the same. But Milesite VPN can be set up through a command and can be manageable through the operations in the web GUI of the routers. Okay, and here I list according to the quantity for 500 routers, for 1,000 routers management. You may need different server specification here to set up the Milesite VPN as a server, and later you can just download OpenVPN client in your personal laptop. Then you can build up this encrypted Milesite VPN tunnels. Okay, now let's see what we have shared with you today. We have got a very healthy business now, and we even didn't know what we were going to do when we started. Well, when Ursulink started, Now we have the most popular series, the UR3 series. We have made the normal IoT scenarios as simple as possible in the deployment stage. And now you can enjoy the free software platform like Device Hub, like the Milesite VPN to make money. And also you can enjoy our free services, I mean the after-sales services, consultant services, and also you can enjoy our white label services. Well, IoT is certainly expanding very quickly, and that's going to float all the boats. If we can expand at the same rate, we will succeed. So I think you can make it as well. Thanks for listening. See you next time. Bye-bye.